In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to come out of a crash or a setback from chronic fatigue syndrome so you can ultimately decrease symptoms faster, get back on track, and then move towards full recovery so you can start to feel healthy and live life again. I'm Toby Morrison, the founder of CFS Health, and I've been dedicating my whole life for the past 2 decades helping people recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. I know firsthand what it's like because I went through it as a teenager, and once I got better, I wanted to make sure no one else had to go through what I went through alone. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to go through in life, but just know that recovery is possible and life can be better once you recover. So when it comes to coming out of a crash or a setback from chronic fatigue syndrome, there are 6 key components that you can really apply straight away to move you out of that crash or setback a lot faster. One of the common causes of a setback or a crash is simply overdoing it and putting yourself in an energy deficit where you might wake up one day, you feel great, or you feel like you've got energy to use for the first time in maybe 3 or 4 months. And then you go and push yourself as hard as you can. You try and do all of the to-do list, and then you end up in bed feeling horrible. Your symptoms flare up. We actually call this the valley of death feeling, where you basically spiral down, your symptoms flare up, and you can't do what you normally would be able to do day to day. And this obviously affects your daily function. It affects how you feel physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And so I'm going to break down the 6 key components right now for you. Number 6 is one of the most important ones you need to learn in your recovery, which will actually put you in good stead, not just to get out of crashes and setbacks, to actually help you progress to the next level of where you want to be. Number 1. Stop trying to hold and maintain your current baseline or routine and structure that you were just before you had your crash or setback. One of the biggest problems that I see with most people is that when they're going through a crash or a setback, they're literally scrambling their way, trying to maintain the routine and structure they were doing prior to getting into an energy deficit and feeling terrible. And so that's only going to perpetuate the problem even more by trying to do something that actually isn't even appropriate for you with where you're at right now. So we just need to let go of that old routine and structure that you were able to do that you can't do right now. Now, I know that's extremely hard. Right now, you're probably thinking, but I don't want to let go of that, Toby. I want to keep doing, I want to keep pushing. The truth is, if you keep pushing and redlining more and more and more, you're just putting yourself in a deeper energy deficit. Therefore, it's going to take longer to come out of it. Feel the emotions. Number 2. When I mean feel the emotions, it's okay to be upset, angry, and even pissed off if you're in a crash or a setback. It can be really frustrating and irritating, and you can beat yourself up about this. Now, it's okay to feel your emotions and even have a pity party, even have a day where you just kind of have a day of being miserable and being really upset with yourself. But don't let a bad day ruin a good week, and don't let a bad week ruin a good month. Allow yourself to feel the anger, feel the frustration, but use it as a learning process rather than a beating yourself up process, okay? You can learn from this, you can realize where you went wrong, and then you can do something to fix it to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Remember, don't let a bad day ruin a good week. Number 3, rest, repair, and grow. So when you're in an energy deficit, your brain and body is obviously crying out for more nurturing, more rest, more repair, so you can start to grow, okay? And so it's really important to tune into your body and really just listen to it and go, what do I need to do right now? Or what is my body asking for to feel better right now? That might be having a daytime nap. It might be, turning your phone off completely for a few days. It might be setting some really strong boundaries with family members and friends so you just repair and rest so you can come out of that energy deficit faster and get back to your initial baseline a lot quicker than you would if you keep saying yes to everything and you stop listening to your body because it's clearly sending you messages and signals to really tune in and do what's appropriate for you. Again, keyword appropriate. Make sure you're doing what's appropriate for you. So again, your brain and body will thank you later for it, and then you'll be able to move through this faster and get back to your initial baseline a lot quicker. Number 4, don't compare or count. A lot of people, when they go through a crash or a setback, is they really start to panic and worry that, they've lost all their progress, they're going back to square one, and it kind of, you make this massive deal of it, and then it even perpetuates the problem even more. So one of the key things here is don't think that you're going back to square one. You're not, because you're a different person than you were when you were at square one in the first place. Like I said before, you can learn from this and grow from this faster because you're a different person now. So don't compare your current self to your old self, and don't count the days or the weeks and make it a big thing. Just focus on what you need to do right now to help yourself move through this faster so you can get back on track quicker. Really, really important to do that. And again, when you stop counting the days, you'll start to focus on what actually matters right now. You'll loosen the grip a lot more. You'll feel more relaxed. And because you feel more relaxed, you'll actually feel better quicker. Number 5. This is a two-piece series on this one. Nutrition and sleep. So nutrition, we want to look at nutrition as food as fuel. And like I said before, because you're in an energy deficit, you need to make sure that you're fueling your brain and your body consistently every single day. This means having healthy protein, healthy complex carbohydrates, and then healthy fats in every single meal that's going to fuel your brain and body and start to really replenish your brain and your body so you can start to get back on track faster. This is really, really important. And one of the key things that most people miss here is meal frequency. You're not eating regularly enough. And if you are eating regularly enough, you're not eating, healthy foods that are sustaining your blood sugar levels for a long enough period of time. So again, up your protein, up your complex carbs, up your healthy fats in every single meal. Eat between every 3 to 4 hours. Some people need it sooner. Some people can go a little bit longer. But this will really help to satiate your brain and your body, create safety in your brain and body, and then help you move through this even faster. Remember, food is fuel. Same thing with sleep. We want to make sure we're getting into a healthy routine with your sleep and really prioritizing sleep and rest throughout this period as you come out of the crash and setback. Now, initially, you'll need more sleep and more rest at the starting point, but as you come out of it, this will start to subside a little bit, where you can start to increase your activity appropriately and build into your new capacity and get back on track faster. Number 6. Ease back into it. I'm going to give you a framework that we literally teach all of our clients from around the world, which helps them not only progress with their recovery, but also maintain or to pull back when necessary. So easing back into it basically means just easing back into your daily rhythm and routine and structure appropriately for where you're at, so you don't overdo it, so it feels safe and comfortable, and it's also effective for the long term, where you're actually not putting yourself in an energy deficit and putting yourself back in a hole that you don't want to be in the first place. So how do we do this? We use a method called the RPE framework. The RPE framework stands for rate of perceived exertion. Okay, I'll say that again. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion, meaning it's a 1 to 10 scale. 10 out of 10 means maximum effort. Okay, it would mean that you're totally pushing yourself way beyond your means, and it's a 10 out of 10 effort. Now, that's probably what got you in the crash in the first place. Maybe you were pushing yourself to an RPE score of a 7, 8, 9, or 10, when you shouldn't even exceed a 3 or a 4 right now based off what stage of recovery that you're in. Now, what we want to do is, when you're coming out of a crash or a setback, is to reduce the rate of perceived exertion score on all activities that you are doing initially. So all that means is, rather than going a 10 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, you pull all and scale all those activities back to no more than a 3 or 4 out of 10 initially. For some, it'll be a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. This means doing the bare minimum and easing back into your routine and structure and activities that feels almost so simple and doable to do, okay? Now, what's going to happen is it's going to feel doable, and that's what we want initially. We don't want to get to the point of pain or exhaustion when you're easing back into your routine and structure and your baseline. What we want to do is use the RPE scale for the first 2 to 4 weeks of easing back into activity where it feels kind of light and doable and easy and simple. Now, as you start to maintain that, what's going to happen is you're going to come out of the crash and the setback, you're going to stabilize your energy levels and your symptoms, and then you can start to progress and move up the scale of RPE. The trick is that once you start to feel better, is to not go and repeat the same thing that you freaking did in the first place. Okay, you want to make sure that you maintain for 2 to 4 weeks at your new baseline before you progress to the next level. And when you progress, you want to do it appropriately. You don't want to go from 0 to hero overnight. This is how we help literally clients go from bedbound to hiking mountains again. We help people who were semi-functioning to now working full-time and traveling the world. We use the RPE scale appropriately and effectively based off where the individual is at. And over time, as you move through the 3 stages of recovery, from the restore stage to the re-strengthen stage to the integration phase, when you start to integrate back into life, that's when you can use the RPE scale on the higher end, where you can push your brain and your body further than you normally would, because your brain and body can adapt to that stimulus. But if you're still in stage 1 or 2, you can't do that, okay? You need to start low and slow and build up so you can start to move through recovery faster long term. If this video is helpful, drop a comment below. Let us know what was your biggest takeaway in this video, and make sure to literally apply these things in your daily life. This won't change anything for you if you don't actually apply this in your life. But if you follow these 6 core principles to get out of a crash or a setback, it's going to help you tremendously bounce back faster and move forwards with your recovery so you can get healthy and start living again. If you're looking for free help with your recovery from chronic fatigue syndrome, check out our most practical recovery trainings on our YouTube channel here, and you can explore them all, where they can help you get started with your recovery on your own, in your own home, so you can start moving forwards today.